it's Jamie.
Hi, I'm Gemma.
From Play-Doh and Preschool. Thanks for joining us today. We are still in the middle of our Plants and Flowers unit with our preschoolers this month. And we've previously shared, circle time ideas.
Did you do one by yourself? I can't remember.
I don't think so. Ideas for introducing plants. We did some art and I posted some art pictures on Instagram. But today, we're gonna share 3 of our very favorite Plants and Flowers books. If you're listening, let us know in the comments what your favorite Plants and Flowers books are. And then we're also gonna share some of the activities that we did in conjunction with these books. So hi you guys, hello, hello. All right.
You want to start and I'll do them and you do them. I'm so organized today.
All right, so here are 3 of our favorite plants books. We're kind of still going with that theme of what all the parts of the plant are. I told you last week that we did some stems, we painted with the flowers, and then one of the activities that we recently did this week is talked about why do plants have flowers? This is one of my very favorite books. I know it's backwards, but it's called The Reason for a Flower by Ruth Heller. This is an old copy. It's been republished and it's got a really pretty cover without this green. Anyway, it's kind of like the chicken or the egg, right? So this week we're learning about flowers and seeds. So you could either teach flowers first or you could teach seeds first.
Either way.
It doesn't matter because it's a big old circle. So the moral of this little book, which is better for older preschoolers like our 4s and 5s than it is for 2s and 3s, is the reason for a flower is to manufacture seeds. And that little rhyming verse is repeated in the book. And so, you know, our students, we kind of have them repeat that with us. The reason for a flower is to manufacture seeds. And we brought to Circle Time a vase of flowers that I just got at the grocery store.
She's making fun of me again.
No, I was just trying to be fancy like you.
Vase.
We let our kids pull the flowers out of the bouquet and take a really close look to see if they could see the inside where the seeds grow. Some of them are hard to see, but like on the inside of the little daisies, you can kind of the mums. I'm not a flowers person.
These are mums. No, yeah, chrysanthemums. They're kind of
They're starting to fall apart. It's been a long week.
And I don't know if you saw the picture of our after the 3-year-olds had a turn looking at the flowers. It was like carnage.
There were flowers everywhere. They picked, which is fine. They wanted to pick the petals apart, and they picked the leaves off, and that was fine.
So with these, we give them to them and then try and locate the seeds. A really good one to get is sunflowers, but it was a bit too early for us to find any sunflowers here. So because they're really good because you can see all the seeds in them.
True story.
Yeah.
We also set up these little vases.
She doesn't know now.
Vases of. Do you say vases if there's more than one? Or vases.
Vases.
Of flowers at the art center, and we let our kids into some directed drawing. Our older kids. So these are.
Yeah, the younger kids don't do directed drawing.
They do the little ones on the whiteboard.
But you're gonna set yourself up to be very frustrated if you try. Well, maybe you have a class that might be able to do it,
But ours, it was the older kids. So we have these kids who will be in kindergarten in just a few months. And they're mostly 5, or they're turning 5 in May and June. And so...
so we looked at the flowers, we see them in the vase, on the table.
And then I did something completely crazy, and I gave them all Sharpies. And a gigantic piece of cardstock.
They always feel very, very responsible with their own Sharpie.
We do talk to them a lot about how you can't write on your friends, or your clothes, or your face with a Sharpie, or the table. Anyway, a lot of people were asking about what kind of paper we use. Listen, typically we just have cheap construction paper, 12 by 18. But
we have all different kinds of paper for different things.
But mostly it's
just regular old paper.
Construction paper. But sometimes when we're trying to do something a little special, not special, then we pull out our tiny little bit expensive cardstock paper.
But you don't have to.
You don't have to, but people are always asking. So I left a link for it. This is exactly what I ordered off of Amazon. It's 12 by 18 and it's pretty thick. Cardstock. I think it's $20 for 50 pages. It's a little expensive.
But you might be able to find it in your craft store and use a coupon.
You could, yes. Anyway, we led the students into a directed drawing of flowers in a vase. Very simple. I threw my sample away, not thinking. We just did, you know, the vase with a table and some flowers, right?
One step at a time.
One step at a time. So that was day one, just the directed drawing with a Sharpie. We do not have them do it with pencil and then trace it, because who has time for that? Really just drawing. Then day 2, we had them color or accent color their pictures with some oil pastel crayons. Now the pictures are too big for them to color the whole thing with oil pastels.
It would take forever.
It would take forever unless you have kids with a lot of tenacity.
And they even at 4 and 5, they still don't have the patience to be able to sit there for a really long time.
I don't know if I could color a 12 by 18 page with crayon. Anyway, they did some accent colors. I'm going to show you the final project. I don't have any in process, sorry. Then on the last day, we used our watercolors, which I forgot to pull out of the closet to show you, but you could imagine a little bottle of watercolors, watered down.
You put them in a little palette, like a painter's palette.
It's drying.
No, I
and then they painted their pictures. So we did sit with them in little groups of 3 or 4 kids to do this. So we said, pick a color to paint your flowers. Pick a color to paint the table. Pick a color for the vase, and then a lighter color for the outside. So they did a really good job. How cute are those? She just turned 5. There's another one. Not quite 5. So this is the vase, and then they do the flowers and the table. Anyway.
And then you can see, actually you probably can't see more behind us because we sat in
I'll
different
watch.
I'm gonna mess up the camera
I'm
now.
gonna do this. Do you see some of them over there? So they're super cute. So this, can you see that? So this orange one is one from our 5-year-olds, and this one, he didn't want to paint his background. He wanted it to be white. The other ones are the little kids from a different day. But anyway, they did a really great job with this directed drawing. So we read, the reason for a flower is to manufacture seeds.
We looked at it, had this on the table when we did it. Then we painted.
Painted the
we
flower.
drew, colored, then painted.
You guys are such good sports for sticking with us. All right, activity book idea number 2.
Okay, so at the NACE conference 2 years ago, when we were in California, it's California, I think, we had the privilege to meet the author of this book, Lori Keller. She was very funny. She's written this book in conjunction with
Elephant and Piggy Like Reading.
Yes,
Mo Willems' new series of books.
So, and she was there and she read the book out on stage. She was so funny. And then she kindly gave us a copy and signed it, which was really nice of her. I think she signed it. This one might not be us. Oh, it is our special one. Sometimes we don't always leave them out. Look, she signed it.
And she drew the little grass.
Anyway, it's so funny. It's about these pieces of grass growing, and it's hard to explain it, but they're so funny. They all speak to each other and they start to grow.
There's a weed amongst them.
Yes. And they say, oh wow, I grew. And then they are like, I want to grow too. And then they start growing, and then they will decide what kind of personalities they all have. One's curly, one is, they talk about it. It's like
super duper cute. Look, you're the
one's
tallest, you're the smallest, you're the weediest,
you're the curliest, and they
super
go
cute.
on and on and on until something
Little
terrible happens. So they're all so proud of themselves for growing, and then the lawnmower comes. It cuts them all down. And then they all start right at the very beginning again. And they're all very happy to know that they all have different personalities, and they're all still friends, right? Yeah, so it's a really, really cute book. It's quick.
We are not the anythingist.
They're not the anythingist anymore, and they're all sad.
Super cute.
And then they'll grow again. Anyway, the kids love this.
It's a cute book about grass.
So we planted some grass seed in a plastic cup with some dirt, soil. They watered it. And this is 2 weeks growth.
It's like a week and a half. A week and a half, yeah, not quite 2.
And then we took some funny pictures.
We made them make a funny face.
To be their funny pictures.
We just glued them onto this.
And then tomorrow, we're going to cut their hair. Now, you have to make sure you're really specific with the scissors. You could only cut the hair on your
yesterday we were like, the hair is getting really long. It's almost time we can do our haircuts on Wednesday. And you could see the kids looking at each other. And we were like,
can we do it?
Oh, no, wait.
No.
Just your grass hair.
Not your real hair. Don't cut anyone's hair. No.
We actually asked them to make really funny faces. So that's why they look so crazy.
Yeah.
And then we'll just let them cut their grass hair.
And then we'll read this again.
They love the book.
Yeah.
Anyway, learning about growing, keeping our plants watered, etc., etc. Okay. And then the last day we were looking just specifically at seeds. So our circle time lesson, we gave each student a tiny little tray. I think it's supposed to be for paint. They were $5 for $1 or $6 for $1 at the dollar store. In the kids craft aisle, you know, they have like glitter glue and pom-poms and craft sticks and stuff in the Dollar Tree, and they have these little paint palette things. So we gave the kids each one of these little pallets of seeds, and the seeds are also from the dollar store. I spent like $6 and got some different kinds of seeds, and the kids just spent time touching them, comparing the color, the shape, and the size. And then we asked them if the seeds looked familiar, like, does this look like anything you've ever seen before or if you've ever eaten before? And a couple of the kids did say they'd eaten beans, which is nice. So I said, guess what? It's a bean seed. You know, and this one is a cantaloupe seed, and so we were just asking, does this look like anything you've ever eaten before, you've ever seen in your food? They were guessing that they were apples, but I think we had spinach,
Watermelon's one of
this
them.
is watermelon, cantaloupe, beans.
I don't remember.
The carrots were tiny.
It was
I don't
from
remember.
yesterday.
Tomatoes maybe, I don't know. There were
Tomatoes,
like
yes,
6
tomatoes.
different types of seeds that they were looking at. It was fine if they fell on the carpet and put them back. And then when they were done, we let them put their bag, or all of their seeds in a little baggie to take home, except for the bean. So then we read this adorable book, it's okay, which is called Plant the Tiny Seed by Christy Matheson. It is an interactive book. So I've done other videos about how awesome interactive books are, where kids can touch the pages and the prompts are to tickle it or wiggle it or blow on it or tap it or count, you know, those kinds of things. So this is all about planting a tiny seed, and each page has a direction for the kids to get involved. So, see, these are zinnia seeds, which I didn't buy because I'm not that organized, but it says there's magic in this tiny seed. Press it down and count to 3. And so we invite a student to come up and press it down and go 1, 2, 3. Each page is like that. And then of course at the end, it's a whole flower garden. Super, right? This is a whole, I don't know if it's a whole series, but she has a couple of other books. We're gonna do this one when we do trees next week, called Tap the Magic Tree, which goes through the seasons of the year. Anyway, we read the book, Plant the Tiny Seed. We looked at seeds during circle time, and then we planted the bean seed. Now, you really just need to put the bean in with some wet paper towels and hang it on the window. I soaked them in water overnight when the kids weren't here because it'll like help it along a little bit faster.
Make sure the bag is open.
Oh yeah, so it doesn't get moldy. And we just tape these up to the window. Now, they probably need to soak again. They were dollar store beans. I might even have to swap them out for real beans. Like, I might have to go to the Home Depot and get real
Just like
seeds
switching out
that'll actually really grow.
Switching out the dead goldfish.
I would never
Nothing
do.
to see here,
I would
kids.
never switch
Save
out the dead
goldfish.
fish. Are you kidding me? Anyway, but the beans do sprout really fast. So next week, I know Tap the Tiny Seed and Tap the Magic Tree are sweet, sweet books. I love them too. She's a beautiful illustrator. The pictures are absolutely gorgeous. And I love to have interactive books to use with our kids.
Kids love them.
They do, especially the little kids.
It really inspires them to sit and wait for their turn really quietly and ready
true.
for their turn.
Remember that video I did about how our goal is not to just make them sit and be quiet while we read?
That's true.
Sometimes at the end of April,
We
the
really
goal
just need
is
them to be-
just sit and be quiet while I read.
Just a little quiet. So we're getting old.
We're just white knuckling it till the end of the year. Just sit and be quiet, Miss Jamie's reading to you. That would never happen. Good pedagogy would say that we want them to be completely engaged in it.
But they are when
No,
they're
they are.
doing this because they're looking at the pages, waiting for their turn to go and blow on the page or something.
But you can plant really any kind of lima bean, green bean, any kind of little bean, and it will sprout pretty quickly, like over the week, with a nice root, and then the next week it will sprout all the way out of the bag. So that's what we're doing.
And you just gotta hope that everyone's does it.
Or just have some backups. You know, because you don't want to be the kid with the bean that doesn't sprout.
So sad.
There's so many other books you could do. You know, you could do like Jack and the Beanstalk. So many fun activities. This is another unit I feel like we could do for like 2 months.
Probably.
But alas, we only have 1 more month of school after this. So we hope you found these ideas useful. We hope that we've inspired you to do some book-related activities with your kiddos. The raindrops in the back. Oh, we did a video on that last year. I'll leave a link to the video. It's like a
kind of like a dripping, blowing type project.
Called it like wind and rain, so they dripped the.
It's actually tricky for the kids.
Yeah,
it's a combination.
I don't know.
Yeah, blowing.
They're like, don't drink the paint.
Don't drink the paint. It's gross.
We did a video on that project last year, so I'll leave a link to it if you'd like to see. But yeah, so the kids were just dripping the water and then using a straw or without a straw just to blow the paint all around like wind and rain, and then we cut them into raindrop shapes.
I'm looking like I can read the comments, but I can't see them.
Yay! Okay, I know. Planting beans. We planted ours it's today only Tuesday.
We only did this yesterday.
We did it yesterday, and of course they run in today to see if their bean plant is grown.
They did that every day with this too.
And then one day,
yeah,
there was all the grass. So, hey, we love you guys too. Thank you for joining us. Have fun playing and learning with your kids.
And we'll see you next time.